My name is Tyler Click. I'm gonna talk about some anti-bullying problems, how we can prevent anti-bullying by not doing them anymore. I want to start an anti-prevent team, anti-bullying event, anti-bullying team, event team to so we can spread all over the world. I'm one of those people that should not be anti-bullying. Those big people. So I'm just here to talk about some anti-bullying for a couple hours. It's kind of a long situation to prevent anti-bullying. My very first video that I ever done in my life is about moving. It's kind of a good way or a bad thing. But now I'm trying to get to the part of more socializing with YouTube and trying to get all that stuff. So anyways, what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to put or talk my life away about anti-bullying. That's one of the things that I would never stand anti-bullying. So here we go. Bullying at school can affect many children. Many children, and your children can be affected by anti-bullying no matter what happens. It does not only have to be a negative impact or a social environment. And those are two things that could actually, a social environment or a negative impact. It cannot be those. But it also creates asthma fear of among students. That's if your things are in school, or your kids are in school, or adults in school, or in college. Just to be in a negative impact and impact of your social environment in school. Those are one of the things that I like to talk about. Like I said, I want to start an eviction team of anti-bullying. Anti-bullying is one of my pet peeves. I know I'm going to talk slow, kind of fast, because it's kind of like, okay. But like I said, it's kind of a negative impact on someone's life in social environments. One thing I liked about someone is how they talk to me about bullying. I've seen several people get bullied in the last 5 years or whatever, 21 years I was alive. But in a negative and passion way. The first thing I'm going to talk about is negative impact on the social environment, but is also created on atmosphere fear among students. That's one thing. I'm not talking about just school, I'm talking about life in general. Like I said, it's a negative impact on social environments, but it's also created by atmosphere fear among students. That's one thing you will learn. Listen to the sentence again. Not only does it negative impact on the social environment, but also create an atmosphere of fear among students. That's one thing we will not tolerate. This created in February 2015. This bio that I'm hoping that will get in a big world. I was in church for the longest time. I believe in God. I believed in Him. I still believe in Him. But there's one thing it begins with. It beginning at home. Home is one of the good environments that you could talk to your children about. I'm talking about 10 ways that could happen. Talk with your children about what constantly healthy friendships, what could cause an all through reach suggestion that a parent often the last to know when their child is being bullied or has been bullied. Someone else can break their trend by talking with their kids every day. That's one thing you will do. Talking with your kids about bullying at home, with your parents, your sisters, your siblings, your brothers, whatever you want to talk with them, but their social lives will impact their schooling. Schooling does not always come in, they cannot always touch out to them, for one. For two, like I said, contributes consultant healthy relationships in school. Suggestions by the parents. You can ask some parents suggestion by them, but not all parents will suggest that you talk to the school or talk to the parents. Some parents will say, it's okay, let's go back. No, that's not how it goes. Your parents should be supportive of you, how you're being bullied. That's how you're going to do. Learning the signs of anti-bullying. Many children don't tell anyone when they are having been bullied, they have been bullied. As a result, you can be able to recognize the possible signs that your child is being bullied. For instance, complaining about a stomachache, avoiding school activities, and dropping grades are red flags that something is going on. Okay? That is one thing. That's one thing. I'm telling you one thing right there. Many children don't tell anyone. Yes, that is true. Many children do not tell anyone about anti-bullying. They could be bullied. There's also warning signs, like I said, recognized by possibility signs. The child, for instance, complaining about a stomachache, avoiding school activities, and dropping grades are a red flag. And that's one thing that would possibly do. If your kids are doing that, that needs to be taken care of. That bullying needs to be taken care of. Empowering your kids, give your kids tools for dealing with bullying, like walking away and telling an adult and telling the bully a firm voice to stop. You also should teach your kids how to report bullying when the witnesses it. Research shows kids feel how powerless to help with they see other person being bullied, equipped with ideas on how to handle the difficult solutions. That's one thing that you will. That's right there. I'm reading this offline because I know how to deal with it, but this is what you guys need to do. But it's kind of like, okay, well, I can do this. I can. That's what I'm gonna do, right? So empower your kids to walk away from the situation and not only walk away, but tell an adult or tell their bully in a firm voice to stop. Become familiar with your school policies. It's important to have a firm grasp on how bullying is handled at your child's school. Not only know what your person is called if something happens, but also when you have clear expectations of how the solution may be handled. Now, that is 5 right there. I named 5 things off. I read you 5 things. Become familiar with the school policies. It's important to have a firm grasp of how bullying is handled at your child's school. Yes, that's number 1. Not only will you which person is called if something happens, but also it could have clear expectations on how its solutions may be handled. It could be handled different ways. If that kid comes up to me, let's say I'm a victim of bullying, anti-bullying, that kid comes up to me and bullies me, how would I handle that? I go to the principal's office. I go tell them, and they handle it there. Be an alert, which while it's important to voice your support to be bullying prevention, you are the support. Anybody's support of anti-bullying commitment of bullying prevention. A school program will be more successful for a firm group of motivated parents to help you tackle the issue. Meet regularly and to brainstorm ideas, then share your ideas with the appreciate school officials and offer to help improvement the ideas. That's why I tell you guys, take your ideas to a principal, take your ideas to somewhere that could be handled. You know what I'm saying? That's not the spend time. That's your parents taking. Parents, this is for you. You do this for that. For support to bully prevention, it's also important to offer your time and volunteer work to your children teachers to think and brainstorm what happens. Result other parents. With a lot of parents are committed to bullying prevention, a school program will be more successful. Yeah, but not really. Result of other parents. It could help brainstorm and tackle, like I said. ask the PTA or PTO to sponsor the bullying prevention program. If a school has limited funds for the bullying program, approach your school PTA, or PTO and ask for their assistance or suggest a fundraiser to be bullied awareness. Remember, bullying is not a normal part of childhood. Bullying affects everyone, but it's also apparent. But as a parent, you have the power to do something about it. Those are 10 name rules that I named today, guys. It's good. It's good to name.